With PLTR stalled out in the low 20s, I'm going to share some of my thoughts on the stock, given its recent lackluster activity. We'll look at what has driven Palantir stock lower over the last few months, and what catalysts coming up could bring it back higher, as well as Ark Invest's activity with PLTR, and what Jim Cramer has to say about choosing whether or not to double down on this stock at current levels. Let's go. The sell-off. Now, I won't get into everything that has negatively impacted Palantir over the past few months, but I'm going to highlight 3 key reasons for why the stock has sold off nearly half its value from late January. The freefall from the $45 all-time high can be attributed to a multitude of factors. Number 1, macro weakness. Technology stocks started getting crushed in late February due to the reopening cyclical trade and rate fears that have continued to put pressure on growth stocks. You'll see that PLTR and many others are retesting relative lows that we already experienced a few weeks ago. At this point, it remains to be seen if that previous support level just over $20 will hold. Number 2, Q4 earnings. Palantir fell following the Q4 earnings report, largely due to a wider than expected loss as a result of stock-based compensation employee payments. I've made a video explaining why SBC is actually a net positive in my opinion and worth the supposed cost, but it nevertheless spooked Wall Street somehow. And of course, alongside the Q4 earnings release, there was the insider lockup and obvious selling from insiders given their access to liquidity. Number 3, weak hand shakeout. More recently, CEO Aleksandrs tempered expectations for the coming months and asked those looking for short-term gains to go elsewhere. Here are his exact words.
You know, it's like we're used to being in the resistance in some ways at Palantir. We fought large bureaucracies for the good of this country, I believe, and to some extent won. And we are, to some extent, battling away with short-termism on Wall Street, which I think is one of the most destructive, corrosive attributes of an otherwise interesting and largely functioning system. We told the Wall Streeters that we will focus on building the long-term health of our company, that we are going to invest in our product development and in our clients first and foremost. And then, you just have to battle it out with them. But, I would say from the perspective of Palantir, we've been at this a long time. If the price is, we've got to move our battle from exposing Silicon Valley's weaknesses to exposing the short-termism of some people on Wall Street, then that's the price. And I like the so-called retail investors for lots of reasons. First of all, unlike many people, they're investing their own money with no safety net. Many of them are engineers, so they actually go out and evaluate our product. And by the way, they dispel a lot of kind of what I would call slanderous critiques of Palantir written by people that don't ever seem to have engaged with our product. And so I really like these people. I'm very happy we DPO'd. As some of, when you DPO, you give investors a chance to make money and not just big hedge funds on Wall Street. I'm very proud that normal people investing their own money with their own risk, making their own opinion, made a lot of money. And we are working at Palantir for a long-term outcome. I would say to everybody, you, your audience, retail investors, we're in this for the long haul. If you are speculating or you are, or you're thinking about the short term, there are plenty of other things to invest in. We're building the company we believe in. We're going to do it for the long haul. There'll be ups and downs. My lawyers won't let me say more than that, but it's obvious. And if you want something else, it's a huge world. Buy some other stock. You don't have to buy Palantir. No one's forcing you. We're completely liquid. Do something else. There are a lot of other great companies, less great companies. Who knows? Everyone has their thing. I'll see you in a couple years. And we'll see how we've done. We're busy in our working in our shop, basically building the products of the future, delivering them in the present, and we're not planning to really change to make anyone particularly happy in the short term.
Of course, that doesn't instill confidence in the near term, but that's just the point. It should get those focused on the long-term, high-potential reward of Palantir fired up. Personally, it's exactly what I wanted to hear from him, even if it cost PLTR stock a few percentage points. Additionally, I believe many weak hands have gotten shaken out not only because of Karp's comments, but perhaps on an unrelated note, if they didn't know what the company was all about and hadn't done their research and eventually chose to paper hand on the stock, for which they don't understand is a long play. Upcoming catalysts. I don't give investing advice. I will never tell anyone to buy or sell any stock, since that's no choice but your own, and I'm terrible at timing the market, a realization I'm glad I've made. But Palantir really has been hit hard, and I still believe in the company. It's hard to be more bullish on a stock when it goes down, but my PLTR conviction hasn't wavered. I think this is a great buying opportunity. I usually don't like talking about short-term movement or price targets, but I think most of the pain is over at this point. It's possible PLTR eventually drops under $20 if things go south again, but I do not think that is likely. 4 positive upcoming catalysts include Demo Day Double Click on April 14th, the upcoming Q1 earnings report, subsequent deals and contracts as we've been seeing every few weeks, and hypothetical big future partnerships. So I'm not expecting any of those specifically to boost the stock by a set dollar amount, but those along with a re-rotation back into high growth companies could rebound Palantir back into the $30 to $40 range over the next few months. My target for the end of 2021 remains $50, which might be laughable at this point, but we'll see how crazy it looks halfway through the year. I'll be sure to keep you updated if my expectations change. Here's Jim Cramer being asked if now is the time to double down on PLTR.
My question is simple. Is now the time to double down on Palantir?
Well, I don't think this is the time to double down. I mean, it's at 23. I really like to double down when something has come down significantly. Now, I think it is a great software company. Unfortunately, a lot of it's black box. We're not sure they're doing. It's also been propped up because it is that's not fair term, but it's a Cathie Wood stock, and that's Ark Investments. But it's good. But no, you don't double down until something's come down significant enough to change your basis.
It goes without saying that I'm not very pleased with his response to this caller for a couple of reasons. Those being, 1, the company is not a black box. If you actually do your own research, they literally hold Investor Day presentations such as Demo Day back in January that you can watch to get a better understanding of the company. And 2, Palantir has lost a lot of value off of its all-time high. Granted, that $45 price was way ahead of itself as PLTR got thrown into the GameStop hype. But it's not as if Palantir is still trading in the mid-30s. It's now in the low 20s. PLTR is at a discount. There's no question about it. It's a matter of whether or not you believe the company is worth more than it's currently trading, given a general idea of the growth trajectory and many tailwinds going forward for this business. Ark Invest Buying. I'll close by bringing up Ark Invest's most recent buys of PLTR. Ark Invest purchased 1.2 million more shares yesterday, March 24th, in ARKK, the flagship fund. Their last buy was way back on March 5th, with the stock under $21. So it appears that Palantir has returned to Ark Invest's buy zone, and, naturally, they're buying big. So that'll do it for this video roundup for Palantir. I'm still just as excited as ever for the future prospects of this company and plan to keep dollar cost averaging going forward. Maybe Palantir will reverse course in the next few weeks. What do you think? Until next time.